The first thing actually we have to understand, how this religion is. This religion basically is usul. Usul means fundamentals. Iman, taqwa, piety, fear of Allah. The prayer is khushu. قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون قوموا لله قانتين. Fear of Allah means turning to Him. These are the usul of the religion. When you pray, what actually matters is khushu and qunut. There the Quran says قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون. It does not say whether you pray according to Hanafi madhab, Maliki madhab, Shafi madhab. The usul are the main thing. All the Prophet messengers, they have been teaching the usul. Then to attain those usul, you need some practices that we call actually al-kulliyat al-kubra or al-furu al-kubra, major branches like the prayer, fasting, zakat, hajj. They are means to attain those usul. How you get taqwa? By these things. How you get sabr? By the sabr and taqwa, they are usul. But fasting and all, they are like kulliyat and furu al-kubra. Then you have got, and all they are in the Quran. Then you got minor branches. Minor branches like wudu or something like that. The minor branches. Minor branches, the usul and major furu, they are in the Quran. Minor branches, some of them in the Quran, some of them in Sunnah, and some of them known by ijma, by consensus. Some of them are known by the qiyas and analogy of the fuqaha. This one is very minor. It is so minor that the Prophet ﷺ said that when a judge, hakim or mujtahid, he makes effort to find a ruling. If he's right, he gets double reward. If he's wrong, still he gets one reward. This is so insignificant. Even if you're wrong, still you get reward. Same those who follow them, even if they're right, they get double reward. If they're not right, still they get reward. But major branches, or usul, if you do mistake, it comes shirk and kufr. It is harmful. But minor branches, they are so insignificant. If you're right, you get double reward. If you're wrong, still you get reward. There's no sin in it anyway. This is where the fuqaha differ. When fuqaha makes ruling about these matters, their rulings are different types. Some rulings are like basically just their understanding of the Quran and Sunnah. Some rulings will be just temporary solution of a problem at that time. If that context changes, they themselves will change. So sometimes you can see Abu Hanifa, he changed his opinion because of time. Sometimes Imam Shafi changes his opinion because of the space. He moves from Baghdad to Egypt. He changes himself. These things, they keep changing. So similarly, in our time, it could be possible that people have a problem, and generally, fuqaha's opinion of their own time, it does not help people so much. But we find a fatwa from somebody whose actually opinion is more helpful for the people, for the society. So there is no harm in that. Imam Sufyan Thawri used to say, fiqh is not to say it is haram. Fiqh is to find solution for the believers. So any opinion which can make and to make something easier, that actually is one of the valid things in Islam. When people give fatwa, there are two reasons, two ways to look in an issue. One is from the argument. If something has a stronger argument, you go for that. But another way also for fuqaha has been what is more easier for the people. Easy thing is in the furu is very, very important. And the Prophet himself has encouraged, and people fuqaha call it umul balava and things like that to make taysir. In our time, for example, I give example. Like in Hanafi madhab generally, it's understood, you don't wipe over cotton socks. But there are fuqaha who are allowed wiping over cotton socks. Actually, even Abu Hanifa, there is a narration from him, and some other people have been doing. Now I see in Oxford, I've been seeing really that the places they are not meant for to wash your feet. If you give fatwa for the people, they can wipe over their socks. So they put on the socks in the morning after bath or after wudu. Then they come to the office, to the classroom, and when they need to do wudu, they wash everything. And for the feet, just a wipe. It makes life so easy for them. So even if this opinion has been my opinion of the people, minor opinion, but it is so helpful to now I give fatwa for that. Similar for combining between two prayers, people are traveling, it makes life so easy for many people to give fatwa. So in these minor issues, there is no harm to find an opinion which can be easier, which can help the believers make their life easier. Actually, if they're not even a minor opinion, somebody does his own ijtihad and differs from the rest of the ummah, it's still fine. He make an effort. If he's right, he gets double reward, and if he's wrong, still he gets one reward. He does not necessarily need to follow one of the previous imams. Like like Imam Abu Hanifa and Malik, sometimes they have opinion which differ from everybody, because that's what they think is a better solution. In our time, it still can be some issues where a faqih can think, no, in this matter, it is actually the opinion that people used to have in the past is not so helpful. I can find another opinion which will be more helpful for the believers, and much better. I have got an argument for that. There's no harm in that. So people don't necessarily need to follow someone. If they really can do ijtihad properly and it can help the believers, there's no harm in that. And we have got examples for that from the Quran and Sunnah. If they are right, they get double reward, and if they are wrong, still they get reward. Do you want to say something?
Okay, I'll just say a few words on that. Yeah, on this topic of choosing an opinion that, first of all, an understanding that you feel is correct, I think you ought to go with, especially if you're somebody who studies Islam or has studied Islam, then that is what you ought to go with. And Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah has a whole section in his A'lam al-Muwaqqi'in speaking about what you believe to be correct, you ought to go with. But here the discussion being that choosing something that is of ease, my understanding is that is the nature of Islam. In the Musnad of Ahmad, there is a hadith that the Prophet said, Inna khayra dinikum aysaruhu. Inna khayra dinikum aysaruhu. Inna khayra dinikum aysaruhu. That the best of your deen is that which is the most easiest. And in Sahih Bukhari, there's a hadith that the Prophet was never given a choice. ما خير بين الأمرين إلا اختار أيسرهما. That he was never given a choice between two things except he chose that of most ease. So this today, Islam, as in all times, ought to be relevant to people. Islam should be relevant. The main reason Islam came was not to say, the reason why Islam came was not about whether you combined prayers at this time or a woman could travel 48 miles, or this is not why Islam came. Islam came so people could have a connection, creation could connect with Allah. That's the reason Islam came. And these things are all secondary, tertiary, and today they've unfortunately become the key thing. And I think it's interesting that hadith as well that ابتعثنا رب العباد لنخرج العباد من عبادة العباد إلى عبادة رب العباد, that the Lord has sent us, the Sahabi said, to take the creation out of worshipping the creation to worshipping the Creator. But how he ends it, وَمِن ضِيقِ الدُّنْيَا إِلَى سَاعَةِ الْآخِرَةِ, and from the kind of claustrophobic nature of this dunya to the vastness of the akhirah in this world. Because there's no point saying taking you out of this world so you're dead and in the akhirah, because that would be meaningless. Why would, if he said to take you out of this world and send you to the akhirah, that would be useless. I don't believe in your religion, so you just want to kill me. He said to take you from the closeness of this world, the closed nature of it, to the vastness of the akhirah in this world. This is the understanding that the deen is vast and full of ease. Okay.
I'll give examples of the early fuqaha, how the people used to go for the minor opinions, because people think it is something new, not something new.
Like it's
I'll give few examples very clearly. Somebody said to his wife, in the time of Imam Shafi rahimahullah ta'ala, he said to his wife, if you are not more beautiful than the moon, you are divorced. The person went to all the jurists, everybody said she is divorced, because how can she be more beautiful than the moon? So she is divorced. He came to Imam Shafi, he said, no, she is not divorced, because the Quran said, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. Human being is the best structure. Human being is much better than the moon and the sun. She is not divorced. He accepted the opinion of Imam Shafi. Though all the jurists say she is divorced, but he accepted the opinion of the minor opinion, because that is easy for him. That was his problem. Similarly, somebody came to Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala and said, I got oath that if I don't do an act of ibadah where I am alone, then my wife is divorced. I went to all the jurists, they say she is divorced, because whatever you do, you fast, somebody must be fasting. If you pray, somebody must be praying. If you read the Quran, somebody reading the Quran, she is divorced. There is no solution. Imam Abu Hanifa said, no, she is not divorced. You go to Makkah and ask people to empty mataf, and then you do tawaf alone. So you're doing something alone. Nobody shares you. So she is not divorced. Similarly, I give another example, which actually much, you can say, amazing how people can think. One of the person during Abbasid period, in time of Ibn Jarir Tabari in Baghdad, he was a slave, and his master was a nobleman, and master loved the slave very much. So he bought a slave girl, and he married his slave with this slave girl. Slave girl was very attractive, very beautiful, and the slave was not so handsome. So he loved her, she hated him. But anyway, both lived together. So what she did, she always used to annoy him so he can divorce her. All the time, making something so he can divorce her, she can get. So, but he is still making patience because he loves her so much. One day she annoyed him so much, he became angry. And he said to her, if you say anything after this, I don't repeat the same thing, then you're divorced 3 times. If you say anything and I don't say same thing to you, then you're divorced 3 times. She said, Anta taliqun salatan. You're divorced 3 times. Now if he said this sentence, she will be divorced. And if he does not say, she is so clever. She said this. She said, Anta taliqun salatan. Now if he said, she will divorce. If he does not say, because he said, if I don't say, you are divorced 3 times. If he said she is divorced, does not say she is divorced. And now he went everywhere, all the jurists say she is divorced. Because if you say she is divorced, if you don't say, she is still divorced. And then his master said to him, don't worry, if fuqaha don't solve the problem, then I find for you another wife. He said, no, if I don't get her, I will die. I love her so much. The solution is only her, nothing else. I don't want anybody. So he said, then go find a jurist. So somehow he happened to go to Ibn Jarir al-Tabari. Ibn Jarir al-Tabari said, I can solve your problem, but don't do it again. So what Ibn Jarir al-Tabari says, go and say to your wife, Ante taliqun thalathan in tallaqtuki. You are divorced 3 times if I divorce you. So once you hang, it is no more divorce. So he said the same words, but he did not divorce. Because the condition was if you say so. So you see, he did not accept all the opinion. He accepted this opinion because this opinion helps him. So this always happens in Islam. That any opinion which helps people more convenient, people go for that. Not people go to majority opinion. Everybody used to go for the opinion that more convenient. That actually Islam, Abu Hanifa did not mind that. Imam Shafi did not mind. Nobody mind. Imam Malik used to give fatwa on the opinion which sometimes differ from other people. Everybody does this. So in our time I don't understand why people think it's a big thing. In Islam always happens this.
And is that seen as following nafs?
Yeah, it's not nafs. Because it's still ibadah. You want to follow Islam. You don't say that I don't follow any opinion. You say, no, I want to listen to fuqaha, any opinion. You don't say that I do whatever I like. If you say like that it is not right. But if you say, no, among all the opinions, one which is more convenient for me, I follow that, there's no harm in that. Everybody should do it like that.